If you are treating someone as a superstar, then that someone most likely is gonna treat you as a fan. Welcome, my name is Elnar and today we're talking about relationships. How to be with that specific person you want it to be, and what exactly needs to be done in order to manifest your love, your soulmate, your dream woman or man. Let me tell you the story. When I just started dating girls, I remember I liked that girl. She was super duper hot for me, right? And I was looking at her and I was like visualizing me being with her, me kissing her and stuff like that. But every time I was imagining myself with that girl, the inner feelings, I had those feelings. I don't even have specific words for those feelings, but I can show you. I was like, oh my God, she's like, oh. So I was putting her onto the Pier Style. So I was here and she was on the pedestal. And if we're talking about energetic level, you probably can see the difference. On the energetic level, when you put someone on a pedestal, that person, specifically in this specific situation, she was higher than me. She was not aligning up with my energy, right? So I was putting her into the pedestal. I was thinking, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I have to be rich. I gotta buy different cool clothes. I gotta wear this nice watch. I gotta drive a nice car. And I didn't have a car at that time, right? So all those blocks used to come up when I was thinking about being with her, right? So we were talking, and then at that point, I was working in the Ministry of Sports and Tourism, and the hockey team from the United States came, and I was their team host. And because I was working at such a prestigious job at that time for me, my level did go up a little bit, right? And I start talking to different people. I was really close with the Minister of Sports, with different vice presidents, with presidents from different hockey associations and stuff like that. So I leveled up a little bit, right? And I started seeing myself as a better person, you know what I mean? I didn't have a car still, I didn't have millions of dollars, but my level shifted a little bit. And that girl, we started dating actually. We started dating at that time. But I was still shaking every time I saw her, you know what I mean? I was like, oh man, she is so cool. She is so hot. I'm ready to give her everything. And we were dating for a little bit. And she was treating me weird. You know what I mean? She was like giving me commands, do this, do that, go here, go there. And I was happy to do those commands. I was like, yes, sir, let me do it right away. Yes, ma'am, I mean. And the funny thing is, the more I was working in the ministry, the more my self-love, self-value, and self-respect were raising. And when I was raising my self-value, I was lowering her from the pedestal, right? And then I remember I went to Serbia, again with the ministry, to be a head of the transportation department for the university games. It's called Universiade. And we were there for like, I believe, 2-3 weeks, something like that. And over there, I saw different people, especially girls, and they were paying attention to me because I was head of the transportation department. I was feeling myself, oh man, I'm the man. I was still broke, don't get me wrong. I was not making tons of money. Actually, it was a volunteer job, but they did pay me a little bit. They paid me $600. But that's not the point. The point is that I was in the surroundings with a bunch of other volunteers, and among those volunteers, I was the head of the department, and all the girls, pretty girls actually, they were looking at me, and I realized that for some of those girls, I was the one who was on the pedestal, and I felt that energy coming from them. They were treating me as a superstar, and I realized that At that point, I was in a relationship with that girl, and she was treating me as a fan only because I was treating her as a rock star. For me, she was like a super duper model. Over here, you see number one. She was on a pedestal. But as soon as I removed her from the pedestal and start acting normal, how I would act with other people, people who was on my line, energetic line, like my friends, my girlfriends, not girlfriends, but like friends who were females. I was treating them all right. I was not like shaking every time I was seeing them. I was acting normal. So as soon as I started treating her that way, everything changed. She started treating me differently with love. She started cooking me. She started actually taking care of me. Before, I was taking care of her all the time. I was still taking care of her. No, don't get me wrong. It's not like I gave up on her. No, I was giving her flowers and stuff like that. But finally, I start seeing the return. You know what I mean? It's like a cashback. So I start seeing that she start treating me better, not like a person who is lower than her, but actually like a person on the same level. And then even more, because I was still working in the ministry and I had different jobs. Like I went to the Turkmenistan, to Kazakhstan with the Rally Dakar. I went to a couple other places. Actually, a couple of the championships came to my city, like boxing championship, swimming championship. All those events, they made that shift into my mind, and I started valuing myself. Only because I started valuing myself, loving myself a little more. I'm not talking about unconditional love over here, and it was pretty, really, really far at that time. But I'm talking about just making a shift a little bit, stepping up from here to here, and that's where she started treating me better. And we used to date for 3 years with that girl, and at the end of this third year, guess where I was? I was here and she was here. She started seeing me as a superstar because I was a student of the university. I finished 2 masters, right? I was working at the Ministry of Sports. I had my own business at that time, auto body shop. And she didn't have any education. She was pretty, she was super duper hot, but she didn't have an education. She didn't have a good job. She didn't have a business. All she had, a successful boyfriend. And over the period of 3 years, we switched. And then she started treating me as a superstar, and I started treating her as a fan. And that is when we broke up, because I realized that she is not my level anymore. Because in any relationship, you guys gotta be at the same level. One cannot be here and the other one is here. No, it doesn't work that way. If you are growing, you gotta grow as a family, as a girlfriend, boyfriend, together. Because if someone is growing and the other person is not growing, that's it. That's the start of the end. You guys are finishing soon. Or it's gonna hurt your feelings till you decide to break up, or till one of you guys decide to level up finally. So the moral of the story, if you want to be with someone, if that a guy, oh man, he's so rich, he has a car, or if that's a girl, oh man, she's an Instagram model, she's this, she's that, she has a business and I'm nothing, forget about it. Remove that person from your pedestal and just act normal. How would you act if that person would have been your husband or wife? What would you do? You wouldn't wake up every morning giving her flowers. No. Maybe first time, like first month, first half a year. But no, you would have acted naturally, normally. So start acting like that right now. Remove that person from the pedestal And then the love of your life will come to you, herself or himself. That's the secret. That's what I learned from my first relationship. And guess what? I didn't have any issues with the girls when I started realizing that. When I started treating girls not like as super celebrities, but as regular girls who needed love, who needed the shoulder to lean, and stuff like that, who needed a strong man right next to them. That's what girls want nowadays. That's the guys want a little different, but you got the point, right? Remove that person from the pedestal. You are enough right now. You are good as you are right now. It doesn't mean you stop the progress and lay on the couch the whole day. No, you keep growing. As long as you are better than you were yesterday, you are good. Do not compare yourself to anybody. You are unique. Use that uniqueness to attract the love of your life and to attract your best life. Because the time to live is now. When you're gonna change? When we gonna change? Tomorrow, January 1st, when I get my first million, when I get this car, no, it's not gonna happen until you change inside. Only when you change inside, the outside will change as well. Much love. Peace.